is the biggest problem with men today? It's my topic. So, and
yeah, clarify that before they're
my
like,
topic.
She made you pick this topic, John?
I just wonder, these guys think that somehow you're controlling me. What's so crazy about this, right, is that we literally talk about how the man should be the leader. Like, that's what we talk about on this podcast. Like, we're on
traditional relationships
right.
that they supposedly want.
You're just giving me glowing reviews and praises on this on this podcast about.
Well, you are the best man ever.
Right. So I'm like, in what way is it that, again, it's just, I think
maybe they don't believe it, or they think, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they're jealous.
But I think if people really realized and they listened and they saw a glimpse of our relationship, they would want the same for themselves. And instead of fighting us, they should be listening. Even if you don't agree, that's fine. And I think we've said it before. Like, if you have an actual, like, educated sort of discussion you want to have in the comments, that's fine. But this whole, like, this is stupid, STFU, like, okay, you look crazy. Like a 13-year-old who's on the internet.
I clearly lead our relationship, but I do it with love. And I think that's what they can't comprehend.
They can't fathom that is possible.
Right. So it's like, oh, she must be manipulating you. She must be, it's like, no, that's not the the case.
And I think they're still stuck in the traditional relationship of the 50s. They think that they want a woman that doesn't really have any input.
Right.
And that's just not going to happen these days. And I don't think it should happen anyway, because I think you're such a better team when you can communicate and, have a sort of conversation about something. Yeah. And even though you're going to ultimately make the decision at the end of the day, you see the benefit in us having these conversations. Yeah. And I see the benefit of when you help me with certain problems that I have and you make certain decisions and I want to know, hey, why'd you make this decision? It's from a place of curiosity and like learning and growing rather than like a dictatorship, which is what they're thinking of in their mind, because that's how it used to be with a traditional relationship. They don't even understand how a woman can help you grow.
Right.
If she gives you her input.
Right.
And again, it has to be in the correct way, which we've talked about on this podcast too, which I guess they forgot about. But I agree that women can be very reactive to, conflict or certain things, and they don't handle it properly and they don't handle it respectfully. We've had plenty of conversations about that, and that does need to change. And
that's why we recommended that book too, right? Because that's and the thing is to remember is that a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still, right? And so in this case, a woman convinced him. But if you run things like a dictatorship, if you have a wife that does not give any kind of opinion, that she just does what you say, and she doesn't have any kind of, she's just like, okay, I just have to do what he,
she's a yes woman, basically.
Then she is still of the same opinion. You haven't won her heart. You may have won her mind. She might be obeying you, but she's resenting you.
Right. And I mean, even in her mind, she might be disagreeing, but she might not be saying anything. And like you said, then all the resentment is building up.
Right.
And then something's going to eventually happen.
A good leader wins hearts and minds. A good leader leads people by example. They want to follow him. They don't feel, it's like there's a huge difference between fear and respect.
Right.
And you can have people fear you or love, or you can have them love and respect you. And that's a much more powerful formula, because what happens when the fear is gone away? This is why also guys, and rightly say, they complain. They say, oh, when I lost my job, then she was gone. Like she, as soon as I came on hard times, she was gone. As soon as I wasn't as successful, she was gone. Yeah. That's because in many cases, she was only there because you were the dictator. You were like, you had the power. And because you had the power, she was listening to you based on you having the power. And once you lost the power, she doesn't actually respect you as a man.
Right.
So that's it. But okay, getting into the thing, what is the biggest problem with men today? I would boil it down to one word. I would say there's actually two things, but one word, which is they lack pride. That is the biggest thing. And so what do I mean by pride? I mean that it means something to be a man, right? And this comes down to all of the things that we've talked about on this podcast, right? That all of the guys have complained about. And I'll tell you, the 50-50 guy, right? Why am I going to pay for, why am I not going to allow a woman to pay for something for me? Because I'm a man, because I have pride, because it would be embarrassing to me, right, to lower myself to let a woman pay half of a dinner or to pay something for me or to give me, like, I can handle it. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the pride. It's almost like I would rather see these guys be more chauvinist, and maybe that's a more chauvinist viewpoint, but maybe I'm chauvinist, but I've got pride in being a man, right? You know, and
I think it should be more, though, about taking care of people, especially people that are more vulnerable and softer. Because what happens when you have a soft leader? Nothing's going to get done. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, a leader, a true leader, like a gentleman, like you are caring, but you are firm.
Right.
And that's what they don't realize. And what we've talked about too is that with the 50-50, if I'm also working to contribute half, but then I have to come home and do all the womanly duties still.
Right.
Why wouldn't I be the authority?
Right.
Why wouldn't I, the one who's going to work, just like you're going to work?
Right.
But when you get home, you're playing video games or watching TV or doing whatever you want to do, like relaxing. But I come home and I have to do dishes and I have to cook dinner and I have to do laundry for both of us.
Right.
I'm doing more work. Why wouldn't I be the authority figure?
Right.
And this is like not how our life is. But I'm just saying, as a woman, like this is oftentimes where a lot of these women get in the authority role because it's understandable. Just like, you know, if a guy came home and it was 50-50 and he did the laundry and he did the dishes and he did whatever, I'm sure the woman would be like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can just sit and watch TV. Like, sure, say whatever you want, which like, you know, she should be doing that.
Yeah.
But it still goes in the same respect because if a man is being a man and he's handling things financially and he's doing all those things, she will not have a problem with him being authority because he is showing her he can handle it.
Yeah, yeah. Most women won't.
Well, I mean, like I'm saying that if they logically think about it, if they're very stuck in their masculine and like very feminist ways, then they're still going to resist.
But you shouldn't be with that woman.
Right, then have the boundaries like we were talking about.
Better than